What's up? It's the recap lunch hour. Ryan McGuffey here in the beautiful recap studios here on the, I'll just say the north side of this fine city of Chicago, Illinois. And look, there's been nothing going on with the Bears, right? Nothing at all. It's been a very quiet 24, 48, 72 hours. Not at all. New Bears offensive coordinator Thomas Brown met the media at Hallis Hall a short time ago. I listened to his press conference. I'm kind of sick of hearing people talk. I think everybody is. He was impressive. He's not hiding behind anything. He very clearly has a direction and a voice with what's to come for the Chicago Bears offense. I love this quote right here. He told his players, there's two things you can control when you walk into the building every day, your effort and attitude. Now, that seems like obvious and maybe elementary, but it's very clear there was a misdirection or communication or both with now former offensive coordinator Shane Waldron. DJ Moore had a pretty damning statement when he was asked about Matt Eberflus saying that there was not clear communication. They were looking for better communication after the firing of Waldron. And that's one of the reasons that they moved on. And Eberflus did double down today and said the decision to move on from Shane Waldron was his and his only, that he did meet with the executive staff of George McCaskey and Ryan Poles and Kevin Warren earlier on Monday. And, DJ Moore was asked from Courtney Cronin about what was the miscommunication between play calling and the players, and if he agreed with the direction and lack of communication in game. And DJ said, well, I'm paraphrasing here. Basically, when they wanted to call a play, they would wait a drive too late. When they wanted to make an adjustment, they would wait until halftime, and the defense never gave them the same look again to make that adjustment. To wait until halftime to make an adjustment if you're in the first, second, third drive of a game, come on, man. You don't do that in high school. So, brutal stuff. A lot of guys talking. If you watched last night's Felco Football Recap Live, if you haven't watched it, it's the best episode of the year. Olin Kreutz, Tom Waddle, Cap, they were phenomenal. Kreutz was on fire. There's clips going out. I think Katie's putting one out right now, just that links the full show. Highest viewed show of the year. You should see their thoughts on the situation. Cole Kmet did say that the reports of the Bears veterans asking for Tyson Bagent to start over Caleb Williams were, quote, that didn't happen. So those are false. Greg Braggs from CHGO said, did Caleb just say he hasn't talked with Thomas Brown that much this year? Thomas Brown's a passing game coordinator, so that seems like it'd be a disconnect. So you don't love to hear that. Just look at, there's just a lot of stuff coming from the podium at Hallis Hall, including, someone asked what will be different to DJ Moore on Sunday. He gave a smirk and a smile and said, you're just going to have to wait until then, as if he knows something that we don't. And maybe they've already put in some kind of creative, play call. Matt, my man, the lunch question of the day, the start bench cut, Whopper from BK, Big Mac from McDonald's, and Baconator from Wendy's. Holy crap. 3 sandwiches I pretty much won't eat. So I'm going to come back to that. I have to think about that one. I'm going to have to go back into the day. Danny says it's hard to be worse than what we just had. I'm assuming, what we just had from the offense for sure. Swayze, what's up, man? Good to see you as always. Missed it, but there's nowhere to go but up. Waldron or Grafal, death is not an option. Wow. I'm going Waldron. Think about what I just said, because at least Pedro was the CEO. He was the leader of the entire operation. So knowing that Shane Waldron was not, that's kind of how I'm going to decipher those two. Danny, I'm afraid to watch the game Sunday. Anybody with me? Maybe you watch it like this. It's kind of one of these where you don't really want to watch, but you're kind of watching one eye open. I'd like to be surprised That's why I said earlier, does it matter what's being said by Thomas Brown? I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. Like, to me, it's all about action at this point. Vince says we're getting killed this week. High school cafeteria drama. Are you talking about the players all talking? There's been a lot of that lately. Some on our own channel here on the recap. We have Kevin Byard. Check out the new episode of Intercepted, by the way. It's with Cairo Santos. It's kind of a two-pronged episode. Kevin Byard addresses what's going on at Hallis Hall right off the top of the show, just him. And then he brings in Cairo. Cairo's story is phenomenal. Like, it's outstanding. So if you're looking for a break from the drama of the Bears, check out the latest episode of Intercepted with Kevin Byard. And then, of course, we had Mercedes Lewis and TJ Edwards on. That is also on the channel. The two of them are captains, and they got into, this was after the game on Sunday too. So they get into some of the stuff and how they're feeling as well. Charles, Sunday will be a slaughter. We might as well have kept Waldron with the flu still being here. I don't agree with that. I do think the change can be good. And a lot of times in this case, change was necessary. It was very clear to me that the offense either was tuning Shane Waldron out, playing for themselves, definitely not playing and pulling from the same rope. So whether or not we all agree Flu should not be here, there had to be a change at offensive coordinator. Had to be. So that's now I'm getting to that situation where I'm like, I really want to lay the 6 points from Green Bay, and I'll look at this. I'll look at the line right now. I don't know. I don't think it's moved since the last time I saw it, but 6 points in a rivalry game in a division game is a lot of points. Believe it or not, when the season started, the Bears were favored this week. I think they were favored by 3. It's gone down a half point. It's down to 5.5 now. Sharps are starting to ride the Bears. I don't know how you guys feel about that, but there you go. McCaskey's got to go, says Chef Paul. It's the old adage, let's just kick ownership out. Well, unfortunately, that's not going to happen. That's not going to happen. So, you guys, I love it. They have no respect for the CEO here, folks. None. Yeah. You guys, I love that you guys talk within the community too. Like, we're talking with the comments and then you guys are answering each other. I love it. Bill, what about the offensive line? I don't think they can block a 98-year-old lady with a double knee and double hip replacement. That's pretty good. And, the other news, like the kind of this just in type news, is that the Bears released Nate Davis today. Why'd you talk about waiting forever? I mean, I don't really understand that. He should have been gone a while ago. They asked him on Sunday not to come to the field, not to come to Soldier Field when he said he had a back injury. Good for the Bears. They should have said, hey, not only just pack up your shit too. We'll have it sent to you. We'll have it sent to you. You're not even allowed in the building anymore. A horrific signing by Ryan Poles when you go back and look at the 3-year, $30 million deal. He was the highest paid offensive lineman on the team. What's that tell you? Just it absolutely, and he never clicked. He never, from day one, training camp, he wasn't practicing. He didn't even report. Come on. Change was needed, yes, says Charles, but what good will the change be with the same guy that hired Waldron is making the next pick? Well, at least the guy doing it now has called plays before. Now, I know, before you come at me, Carolina, Bryce Young got benched. Yes, that's true. But at least it's a guy. If you get a chance to go back and watch his availability today, go ahead and do it. He sounds certainly more personable. I think he presents a lot better than Shane Waldron. He's got more weapons here than he did in Carolina. The line's a mess. Keep it simple, stupid, right? Like, I heard somebody yesterday, I think it was Owen, or maybe Waddle. It was Waddle. Waddle says, take the Wendy's menu or the Denny's menu and turn it into a postcard. And the postcard has 20 plays on it. And I said this yesterday. I was saying, let's Tecmo Bowl this shit, where we 4 run plays, 4 pass plays, and let's go. And just beat them with what you got. Keep it simple, stupid, less is more. And I think simplification here is going to do well for this offense and specifically this quarterback. Vince, Lay it with Green Bay. Come on, they own us. 10 straight. You're right. They were -3 last week. I'm talking about prior to the season. Did I say last week? Outside of 2 seasons with Lovey, the Bears haven't had success since Dickett. Yeah, I mean, Lovey's the third winningest coach all time in this third most wins, I think, all time in organization history, franchise history. Yeah, Nate definitely needed to go. Where's that? Danny? 100. We all know that. That's like I wouldn't have allowed half the crap to go on. The problem I have here is it's like it feels like it's all money related. It feels like it's all tied to, well, he's under contract and we owe him this. Screw that. If he's not good for the room, he's not pulling his weight, gone. Matt, as a Bears fan, are you rooting for the Packers to come in here and embarrass us? I want this to get as worse as possible. Okay. I hear the frustration. No, absolutely not. I never am rooting for the Packers to come in here and embarrass us. If you want this to get as worse as possible, Matt, win the game this week and lose out. But yeah, no, I'm not rooting for that ever. If the Bears get trucked, says Corey, and are never in the game start to finish, so this is what I said. I believe this from yesterday. I think there's one scenario at this point that he can get fired in season. It's getting embarrassed at home on Sunday and getting trucked in Detroit on Thanksgiving. And then you have the mini bye. If those scenarios happen, I'm talking like Bears get beat 34-10 this weekend, get beat 34-10 on national TV on Thanksgiving. If something like that happened, then I think there's a shot. Jared, correct me if I'm wrong, but can we bring up the fact that Flus was all but hired before polls? If I remember, he had options to pick from. All right, so I can go back to, when I had some knowledge of what was going on. They were interviewing head coaching candidates before they hired a GM, Jared, to your point. Excuse me. To your point, Jared, Flus, I think, had already had at least one interview by the time Ryan Poles was in the building. So I think it's very smart of you to bring that up at this point, because when you go back and look at how these dots were connected, I do think it's top down. And that's why I'm saying, is Ryan Poles even allowed to get rid of him if he wants to? Danny, we need accountability. Amen. I think we've all been saying that. Ira could not agree more. So Ira saw what I saw. Thomas Brown, in an afternoon press conference, came across more comfortable with public speaking. Yeah, he looked comfortable in the position. He looked like he belonged at the podium. Whereas Shane Waldron, whether it was Shaky Shane in week 2, I just never thought anyone felt all that comfortable. It never looked comfortable. How about that? The product on Sundays didn't. How it was being broadcast and relayed to the team during the week didn't either. Do you re-sign Tevin Jenkins? Says Mike, I don't. I don't, because of his inability to stay on the football field. And I know. What's this? Well, they don't have any. I know they don't have any linemen. So think about that. How do you give a guy a ton of money that can't stay on the field for a half? What would it take for the Bears to be sold? Why would they believe it? Why should we believe in any higher? The latter is understandable. Like I said before, the McCaskies don't have like real estate money. They weren't oil. They don't have rich oil money. They've always had the Bears. They've always had the Bears. Vince, you don't think he's getting fired? I agree with you, but optics and look. And if Kevin Warren, again, we heard the report earlier this week that the Bears don't want to hire a personality bigger than the brand. Well, that's a concern. But it certainly seems that Flus won't get fired right now. I think that, again, how these next 2 games go could change that. Bill, never ever is it acceptable. Agreed. So, Bill, you're not rooting for them to get smoked this week. Why let Flus run out of the tunnel with this group? They don't believe in him. Clearly, fans are going to the game, shouldn't even be excited. Walking into a funeral. I know. I said it's varsity blues type. Let the players you leave them in the locker room at halftime when they're saying give them a shot. No, we got this from here, coach. Charles, if Poles can't fire Flus, and no, I've been saying this. If he's doing the job like this with one arm tied behind his back, then that's a concern for me. And we've seen that in this town where GMs have not been allowed to do the job in full autonomy. So I can't answer that, but it feels like that. If we can cancel Nate Davis's contract that easily, we can fire Flus. Agreed. Like today was a good day in terms of enough's enough with a player. I mean, the Bears are eating the crap sandwich with that one. There's a lot of money. I think it was $19 million of guaranteed money. Just absolutely brutal. Absolutely brutal. Trying to see if there's anything. Keenan Allen, optimistic. Better sooner about making the change. My goodness, am I a mess in this office? God. There's gonna be a damn meme. There's gonna be a meme of like sneezing and coughing in here. Keenan Allen from Dan Wiederer, better sooner than later in terms of making the change. We have to make some things happen. So if it wasn't happening then, if it wasn't happening then, insanity, man. We all know that definition. See, I love it. You have a player talking about insanity. You have a player saying the definition of insanity, keep doing the same things. Keenan Allen said that today. We just have to make this change and see what happens. All right. Sounds good. The Bears signed a center to the practice squad. He'll probably be playing here in a few weeks. Third round pick to the Commanders in 2023. Ricky Stromberg is now on the roster on the practice squad. Eberflus said players did not come to him specifically requesting a change at OC, but, quote, of course, expressed frustrations over the state of the offense. Okay. So some stuff still coming out. George's first priority is beating Green Bay. He always says that. Should have let Flus go, get the fans off his back for a week and generate some energy. I think, look, Matt, false energy is fake energy. If they don't understand things are being, here's at least what's happening. There's some accountability going on right now. Maybe not all the one we want. Waldron's gone. Nate Davis is gone. And maybe, if anything, it's a wake-up call to everyone in the hallway, but coaches and players at Hallis Hall. Maybe. If you need to get fired, like somebody needs to tell you to get fired up to play the Green Bay Packers when you're on a 3-game losing streak, you shouldn't be on the roster. You shouldn't be. David, what's up? If the Bears only win 1 or 2 more games for the remainder of the year, besides Eberflus, who else needs a one-way ticket out of town? If they win 1 or 2 games, the whole coaching staff's gone. That's a fact. Then you talk about players, and next year, I mean, that comes down to contracts. You look at Keenan Allen, he likely won't be here next year. The entire line pretty much needs a makeover. Overhaul, not a makeover. So, Corey, you don't think Caleb has a chance of being successful if the line doesn't get fixed? That could take years. Could Caleb demand a trade if he? No, Caleb's here. This is a 5. Like, I'd look at it as a 5-year deal. If Caleb's only here for one contract, it's everything. No one will be here, including Ryan Poles. So, I'm not sure. First of all, if Caleb demands a trade, it's not like teams right now are going, I like everything I see there and here. You know, if you got dysfunction, you got some players saying Tyson Bagent, you have Cole Kmet saying, well, that's not true. There's dysfunction. Okay. So let's see how this works this weekend with Thomas Brown. If it's 27-6 at halftime, and I'm talking the ugly way, that's why I'm saying talk's cheap. I like the comfortability of Thomas Brown in terms of what he was saying and stuff. However, I just don't want to hear any more talking. I just don't. Danny, we need to roll Caleb out more because if we don't, he's going to get badly injured. He holds onto the ball too long, but he has no line. Yeah, I mean, yes. but he's got to make a throw when it's time to make a throw too. We went back and looked. I think watching the all 22, 5 sacks were on him. 5 of the 9. Ira thinks, well, yeah, you you get your 2 tackles back. That's a much, much different type of game. Matt, I want to go back to your question, man. I didn't forget. I love the start bench cut that you bring to the table most days. Whopper from BK. I'd love to know where some of you guys. Okay, so I have not even had a Baconator from Wendy's. I am a Wendy's fan. If I had to pick, okay, I'll do this. If I had to start bench cut the 3 restaurants here, the 3 fast food joints that you put on here, I'm starting Wendy's every day of the week. You can say, oh, your choices are Burger King and McDonald's. Listen to this guy. The guy walks in when he wants to, and now he's going to chime in. Wendy's would be my one to start. My bench would be McDonald's. What? Wait a minute. Get over here. You have to start, bench, or cut 3 sandwiches. However, in this case, I'm doing the restaurants first. Yeah. All right, Cap. How are you, buddy?
How are you?
I'm going Wendy's as my start.
Lunch question of the day. Start, bench, cut. Whopper from BK, Big Mac from McDonald's, Baconator from Wendy's.
I've never had the Baconator.
So I can't add like a write-in choice.
No, this is the question. That's the whole point.
Okay. Absolutely, the Big Mac would be second to the Whopper. Baconator would be third.
Here, so here I would go Wendy's, start, McDonald's, bench, BK, cut. Now, if I'm doing sandwiches, I'm going Whopper, start. Had a lot of Whoppers as a kid growing up in Portage, Indiana.
That was a gourmet meal.
Heck yeah, it was. The buy one, get one free Whopper when you're at Willow Creek and Central Avenue in Portage. Whew, forget about it. So the Whopper would be 1. The Big Mac would be my bench, and the Baconator would be my cut. So we're on the same page there. But if you're telling me right now I have to go to any of these fast food joints, by far Wendy's. David knows what I'm talking about. I'm a spicy chicken guy. Number 6, you get the number 6, no mayonnaise.
God bless.
Cap,
their Frosty is very good.
Cap,
I've never had their breakfast food, so I don't know. I'm not saying their food's bad. I just would tell you the Whopper probably goes number 1. I grew up on that.
I know you've been working it off for the last 30 years.
What a jag this guy is.
Mike cuts the Baconator like you and I, benches the Big Mac like you and I, starts the Whopper like you and I. We agree on that.
If you could go any fast food for lunch, any.
Danny, my guy, spicy chicken. All right, any fast food for lunch? I feel like you're going to name a place that is not technically a fast food place.
Jersey Mike's is not fast food.
Charles, what's up, dude? Look at that. Portage, Indiana. I'll be in Chesterton this weekend when the Oriole Park Falcons come to kick Indiana's super team's ass. Let's go. The regional title.
I'm all in on his club because they have this running back named Jackson McGuffey. Oh, my goodness. All the work he and I did together, me teaching him shiftiness in the backfield when you turn the corner, break it upfield, it's paying off.
It's going to be fun to see a McGuffey go back to Northwest Indiana this weekend and wear a different jersey.
That's it. Jersey Mike's.
I don't count Jersey Mike's as fast food.
What is it, gourmet dining?
No, but I don't count a sandwich shop as fast food. I don't know what you guys think.
Katie, is Jersey Mike's fast food?
So, thank you, Katie. Appreciate you. Agreed. Chipotle, not fast food. Chipotle is not fast food.
Yeah, Chipotle's casual dining. Agreed.
Chipotle,
Jersey Mike's is fast.
Wendy's is in my conversation for fast. Like I'm driving, ordering, grabbing, going. That's fast food. I don't have to go in and tell them hold the onions, put some tomatoes, give me extra guac. No, that's not. No. Corey wants while you're here, he wants you to answer this question. What's your first question of Flus after this week's phone debacle?
What is my first question?
Meaning, if you even get the opportunity to do
this coming Monday, is that what he's saying?
Yep. It's hard. I mean, we don't know the outcome of the game.
Well, okay, let's assume they play competitively.
Okay.
And they lose a tough game. Coach, tough loss to the Packers. Did you notice a different vibe this week in the building because it was Green Bay Packers week? Or do we overblow that stuff here in this town?
That has to be yes, even without the Packers. You fired a coach, you cut a lineman.
But I want to know specifically to the Packers, because I can tell you I've had guys who played on that team that are long retired that said that week I was out of my mind, couldn't wait to play Green Bay specifically.
Yeah, again, I said this earlier. There should not be any false feelings, or there should not be made up energy in the room this week. You should come to work every day and be like, "We got Green Bay. There's a lot of noise here. I got to do my job." T says Johnny's beef are his favorite.
Johnny's beef is spectacular. That's down in Melrose Park River Forest area, right?
They got all my money in
Elmwood Park.
Elmwood, yep.
It is tremendous. And then you go from Johnny's beef to the Italian ice place that's right there.
That's a good call.
Oh my God, that is like heavenly.
Why am I blanking on the name of that place?
My birthday is next week.
I know.
Maybe for my birthday, we go to Johnny's Beef and get Italian ice.
Well, you only turned 40 once, and I want to make sure that your day is special.
That'd be awesome.
Okay, Culver's is David's pick. Definitely in the conversation too, because I've
never had Culver's except I think once I had ice cream.
What?
I've never eaten food at Culver's.
That's a mistake. Culver's is made to order fast food.
I'm aware. I see the ad every 3 seconds.
You're a Wisconsin guy. I mean, at this point, come on.
And I'm not saying it's bad. Their
Cap doesn't eat fast.
Is really good.
Cap prefers not to eat fast. Look, I don't either. I don't try to unless it's, sometimes you're racing against the clock here, Cap. We just stopped and had a phenomenal sandwich, by the way.
We did, from Kaufman's Deli, or as my mom from New York, my late mom would say, Kaufman's Deli from New York in Skokie. Oh my God. Was that good?
Oh my God. That's why I'm like burping and coughing during this entire lunch hour, because I just slammed a sandwich 6 minutes and sneezing. I think it's, we got to look at some of the optics in here, man. I got to look at, we might need to get those ducts cleaned. Yeah, Culver. Hey, Joe's tripling down. Culver's is the best.
I've never had their food. I don't know.
Ira, given 2 of the 3 wild card spots are coming from the north. What is the lowest number of wins you think will get the 3rd wild card spot? 10.
Probably 10. You need 10 wins to get in. It means the Bears have to go 6-2 the rest of the way.
And the only way I think you get 9 is if you own every tiebreaker that's going for you. Head-to-head, strength of schedule, conference wins.
Once you gave away the Colts and the Commanders games, you're dead.
Agreed. Charles likes 5 guys. You're a 5 guys guy.
I've never had it.
I thought you had 5 guys.
No, I told you my
last week
said you got to go to 5 guys. I've never been.
I think it's overrated, personally.
Katie, 5 guys, good.
Unless 5 guys. Katie likes the lettuce burger, which, by the way, I'm open and honest to 5 guys, especially if they'd like to sponsor the lunch hour. So I will 5 guys you to death.
Let's go.
If you want to sponsor the lunch hour. Peyton's going to go to the Lions game in December in Chicago. Was excited, but I think they will get thumped regardless of who's in charge. The Bears have matched up very well against Detroit under Matt Eberflus. Now that was one of the games they had a 96% chance of winning and blew last year. But I mean, the Lions are the best team in football, with all due respect to the undefeated Chiefs. You and I, if we had to pick a team to play for today, I know we both are picking
Dan Campbell and
the Detroit Lions. So getting close to wrapping things up here. Charles likes the lettuce wrap burger, the go-to.
And that's where 5 guys?
Charles, stay away from Katie. That's my job. All right. Ira, why does Cap rave about Lou Malnati's cookie pizza? That's pretty simple.
Because it's freaking insanely good.
Why don't you, Ira? Is the question.
Yeah, Ira, you're better than that.
Okay. The only other guy they have is Bajan. If you start him, you better make a huge effort to run the ball. They're not starting him. They've already said.
Correct.
There's your guy.
Nate Davis, get out.
And Robert, why did they not get a veteran quarterback to be at least the 3rd guy? Never could understand knowing they had a rookie.
Because the only veteran guy that was available was Ryan Tannehill, and he plays for exactly nobody. He's only coming somewhere where he can go in and start like what Flacco did last year.
Also, let's be honest here. You have 53 spots. If you feel the need to bring in a veteran guy because you need that in the room on top of coaching, on top of.
And they did that with Ryan Griffin.
Yeah.
Who was the backup to Tom Brady in Tampa. He came from NFL Europe and took a offensive assistant job with the Bears because they don't need him to play, but he's like Caleb's mentor.
Yeah. All right, we're going to wrap things up here. Joe, you go out and get a Malnati's, brother, wherever you're at. I'm sure there's a location near you, LouMalnati's.com, tastesofchicago.com, if you'd like to cater them in.
Oh, somebody listens to me.
Friend of the program, and try that cookie pizza because
the chocolate chip cookie pizza.
Phenomenal.
Insane, and then thank us later.
All right, we're going to wrap things up here. Plenty to get to. We have the recap rush hour later today. The Chicago Bulls are at the New York Knicks tonight.
Tibbs.
That guy will have a recap. Tibbs, one of his favorites, one of my favorites as well.
Yep.
Friend of the program, as we like to say. If you didn't see last night's Feldco football recap live,
you got to watch it.
It's the best episode of the year. Olin Kreutz, Tom Waddle were on fire. Katie, I think, just put a tweet out linking the entire episode with a little teaser of Olin Kreutz. Make sure you take some time, watch that. Speaking of which, 2 weeks, we are changing the date. It's not official. It looks like next week's show in Orland Park is going to be moved to the week of Thanksgiving. More to come from us on that. We will keep you in the loop, but it's very, very close to be moving or to being moved to November 26th at 8 p.m. at Hooters. So make sure you call and get your reservations. We appreciate you guys. Joe, like Cap, a Wisconsin guy. Okay. I guess you guys are Packer buddies together. That's very disappointing.
No.
I thought I knew you.
I have a full set of teeth. No.
It's a pretty good one.
You want me to tell you? Hey, Joe. Is his name Joe?
It's Joe.
Hey, Joe, what's the difference between Lambeau Field and a porcupine? Yeah, with the porcupine, the 66,000 pricks are on the outside.
And with that, we wrap up the recap lunch hour for Cap. I'm Guff. We'll see you again tomorrow.